Venture 2025. This is Airflow. I'm so proud, so happy to tell you 16-year-old Alina flies her helicopter at the ultralight field. Papa, the lesser the angle, the harder it is for me to push.
So I'm just checking the tubes from the collective and the cyclic and making sure they're all okay, and making sure all that works. So that's part of the pre-flight inspection. So then I go up to the main rotor here and I make sure the pitch links are moving. There's some play, and then I'm seeing threads on all the sides of all my bolts up there. I'm looking at my belt, my two belts here, to make sure that there's no cracks and they're not sliding off in one direction or another. Got to check my pitch links here. I'm seeing the threads on all those other ones. So good here. Too much oil, too much grease on this. So that's that part. Then I look here and I'm checking to see if these bolts, anything has come undone or any loose. Looking at all these here. This is my main drivetrain coming down through here. Got threads. None of my flex plates are cracked. And I look at my main sprocket clutch, engine clutch, and the belt to make sure it's okay. And then all my bolts holding down the transmission are tight. And then my starter is secure, and my exhaust is secure, no cracks. And then I come back towards the back. Now I'm looking, I pull my pedals all the way back. I'm checking all the bolts to see if anything is backed out. Kind of get used to seeing what you're supposed to see, how many threads are available to see if anything is backed out. These usually don't come out here, so I'm just checking to see everything twists, and it looks good. So everything from here, I'm looking at this is tilting right, and my blades are in good shape. And then I just look at the fleeting edge of this. This gets full of bugs sometimes. It gets all caked with bugs, but I just cleaned that the other day. So we're good to go. Got enough gas there. And so yeah, now we just need to put on the floats. This one is
This side, because the thing's on the middle.
But you have to turn it around. It just goes like that. So that one goes on the other side.
That's hot.
Yeah. So just go put that over there. How's it going? Yeah, that's the backup plan. Well, Well, they're on top of the skid, so they don't cushion you.
Right.
They don't cushion you as much.
No, they wouldn't cushion very good up there.
Nope.
But it'd probably be a lot easier on them, too.
Yeah, it would be. Here, why don't you hand me the bolts one by one?
Hi, Alina. How exciting! Every year you bring new things to Air Venture.
Yeah.
This year you are flying helicopter.
Yeah, so right now we're putting the floats on the helicopter. It's what allows this helicopter to be considered an ultralight. So this year, I haven't quite learned how to fly outside or do anything outside of groundwork, but what I'm going to be doing today is just some simple demonstrations of some groundwork back and forth down the runway.
Can you tell me why you choose to fly helicopter?
I chose to fly helicopters because I thought that it'd be a good opportunity if I got it. My dad came up to me one day and he said, "Do you want to learn how to fly helicopters?" We were sitting in the mosquito tent and I was sitting in one of their simulators and I was wondering, if I could fly an ultralight, but it was a fixed wing, maybe I could also learn how to fly a rotorcraft.
Is it difficult to learn fly helicopter? Can you tell me about it?
I definitely think that compared to flying a fixed wing, there's a lot of more factors and it's a lot more fatiguing to fly because you have everything, you're using your hands and your feet at the same time. You can't really take your hands off. Also, coming from a fixed wing background, I also had to kind of rewire my brain to figure out and understand that not all the controls were just in the yoke, because now there's the cyclic, there's the collective, I have to control the power on my own. So there's a lot of factors that I had to learn how to do without I had to learn how to use a helicopter but not mix it with what I already knew with fixed wing.
So how do you handle that? Because it's like a change system in your brain. And how did you do that? Is that by lots of practicing?
What I did was I did dual instruction in Ormond Beach, Florida with Tomlinson Aviation, and their instructors helped me go through and practice and learn how to fly a helicopter. So in the Aerolite, I learned how to do this by him talking to me on the radio, but in the helicopter, he couldn't really teach me how to do everything in the radio because you have to know how to use the controls before you sit in it. So one of the things that the producers do is when you buy a helicopter from them, before they give it to you, you have to demonstrate to them that you know how to use it. So yeah, I had like maybe 15, 20 hours of dual instruction with 2 instructors, and I practiced in the Schweitzer 300 CBI, and then I started taking what I knew from my dual instruction and started practicing in this.
Can you tell us about ultralight helicopter and ultralight fixed wing, how different they are when you fly? Can you compare these two?
So flying a fixed wing is definitely a lot, I would say, easier because you don't always have to have your hands on the controls, and sometimes in good weather you can sit back and just let the plane glide in the air with proper power ratio. But in the helicopter, I would say that it's a lot more hands-on, and you can't really take your hands off all the time, which means that it's harder to do like cross-country flights. So that's why this year we didn't do cross-countries, because it's a lot more difficult. Also, the helicopter is able to go in more directions. They can, instead of just going forward like a fixed wing, a helicopter can stop and hover left, right, forward, backwards, and then up and down, while an airplane while a fixed wing can only go in one direction, which is forward, and then you can turn like this. But in a helicopter, you can stop and change directions on like a fixed wing.
Which one you have most of the fun, and or you like both of them?
I like both of them because each of them have their own type of fun to them. The fixed wing, I think, is more fun when you just want to relax and kind of have the wind in your face and maybe like travel a little bit and fly for maybe a longer period of time. So you like, yeah, it's kind of like a relaxation. But the helicopter, I would say, if you're going to say is more fun, I feel like you can do more things with a helicopter because you can stop, you can go explore, you can pick it up and put it down wherever you want to put it and look around. And I've actually heard stories of people landing it on golf courses just so they can go get lunch. So I definitely think with a helicopter you have more freedom of where you want to go and what you want to do, but also that comes with the difficulty of controlling a helicopter as well. But obviously that difficulty goes away with time. And so yeah, fixed wing I would say is better for long distance, and maybe you can't go exactly where you want to go, but you can still fly from destination to destination. And then helicopters are more interesting in that they have pretty much an unlimited like direction of where you can put it. And because you can land in really steep conditions, you can set it down in really confined areas where you wouldn't be able to put an airplane. So right now what we're doing is I'm tightening up the floats because these right here is what keep them from wobbling back and forth. Even in the air, sometimes it'll still do it a little bit, but when you're flying, the wind from the rotor comes in from the top and pushes down. So often you can cause more vibrations, and this will start to wobble back and forth. It's not too big of an issue, but it's just better in that it doesn't really interfere with what you're doing.
Hi, Alina. I want to know how many lessons you have done in the helicopter and what are they about? What did you learn?
Before I did any lessons in this, I practiced in a Schweitzer 300 CBI with another instructor, and I really just learned how to be very gentle and precise with my movements. I learned how to use the cyclic, so it's pretty much like forward, backwards, left, right, and I learned how to be really careful with it and precise. And then I used I used the collective, and I learned how to modulate how much I need to go up or down, and then how to use the proper amount of power with the throttle. I also learned how to use the pedals to focus on keeping the airplane in the direction that I want it to go. So I took 12 lessons, and it really helped me just become a better, precise pilot. And I maybe have like 15 flights in this helicopter where I used all that information and I kind of brought it over into this one so I could practice in a helicopter with one seat and slightly different controls, because every helicopter is a little bit different and they have different abilities. Some of them have semi-rigid rotor systems, some of them have rigid rotor systems, and all of them work a little bit differently. So it's all a matter of like practice and kind of working towards goals. So like my first goal in this helicopter was learning how to pick it up and set it back down smoothly so that I wouldn't like damage anything. And then I practiced quick stop, so it's like taxiing and flaring and then coming to a stop. And then I did pirouette taxis down the runway. And I just really learned how to use all the controls and demonstrate kind of how I knew how to control it. One of the exercises that are good for learning how to combine all the controls together is like a cone method. So you'll put a cone in the middle of like a field, and what you do is you face the cone and you orbit the cone while facing it. You don't go up, down, you don't get closer to it, and you maintain the same speed all around. And it's a combination of using the cyclic, collective, and your pedals at the same time, so that it's just you're circling it without stopping or anything. So after 12 flights with other instructors, I then have about 15 flights in this, and I've just been slowly learning how to use it properly, and I've been being very methodical, so because it's a lot more dangerous than a fixed wing and it's not as forgiving, so I've just been super careful with everything to make sure that I understand everything and that I can get it right.
Is this the only ultralight helicopter you can fly? I know this year you are 16.
Yeah, so this is the only ultralight helicopter that I know of. There, a previous version of this called the Air was also an ultralight version of an ultralight helicopter, but I don't know of any other ultralight helicopter, a true helicopter, out there. So this is our only option.
I'll fix my hair later. I can still hear it.
Check, check.
Check, check. Check, check.
I don't hear it. 1, 2, 3, 7, 5.
Can you not hear me?
No.
I heard you.
Oh, maybe I didn't have to. I don't know. One more time.
Check, check.
Oh yeah, there you go.
What if they miraculously tell us we can't? I don't know where to put that. Good enough.
Hi, Mr. Jenkins. So happy to meet you here. My friend Alina brought me here. She is a 16-year-old girl and flying your helicopter in Air Venture 2025. So I want to know about your company, your helicopter.
My name is Dwight Junkin. I represent Composite FX. We do build the single place helicopter, the one that you see Alina flying here this year. The one that she's flying is a Part 103 ultralight helicopter. We actually build 4 models, that being the entry-level model. They go up to turbine powered, as high as turbine powered. We have 3 different engine options. The 3 larger helicopters, larger engine applications, are actually experimental, so you would need a pilot's license and a registration in order to fly them. But what Alina has chosen, because of her age, she's not old enough to actually have a pilot's license, but she is legal to fly the ultralight version.
Hi, Mr. Junkin. I know you designed the helicopter. How did you come up with the idea?
Designing the helicopter was a 3-year-long process, and I did not do it all alone. I had help from friends and partners with it. John Updegrove, who was an intricate part in the design of a lot of the drivetrain components. My mentor, George Point, who also was involved in the project. It was a 3-year-long process. John Updegrove and myself were kind of smitten with helicopters when we were quite young, when we were kids. I think our stories kind of run and align together. And later in life, we met and we merged and created a partnership to create the helicopters. The entry-level helicopter that we start with is the ultralight. We happen to be standing in front of the one that Alina is flying. This is a Part 103 legal ultralight, and you'll notice that there are floats on it. That is what makes it legal to be in Part 103. All the models that we build, the airframes are the same. The biggest differences are the power plants on them. And in this particular case, this is the MZ202 engine built by Fiat. It is a 60 horsepower, 2-cylinder, air-cooled, carbureted engine. And it allows the helicopter to get the weight down in the area where it qualifies for Part 103 ultralight. We go from that, and we move up to the larger piston engine, which is this purple machine here. As you can tell, the airframes are the same. The engine is larger. It's an 800cc water-cooled fuel injection, oil injection engine. We private label that. It's a CFX 800 engine. It is 93 horsepower, so it has considerably more horsepower on it. It's a little faster. It can fly at higher altitudes. This is more of a cross-country machine versus the ultralight. Is more localized flying. This third engine option that we have is actually turbine powered. This is referred to as the XET model, and you'll notice that the engine on this is turbine powered. As we said, it is rated at 95 horsepower. It is a Solar T62 2A1. A lot of experienced pilots prefer to have turbine powered versus piston powered. However, the turbine powered helicopters will burn twice the fuel with the piston powered. But they smell better when they run, and they sound better when they run. So.
Hi, Alina's dad. So happy to see you, my old friend.
Hello, Flo. How are you? Nice to see you again this year. So after last time we met, when we met last time, she was flying the Aerolite, So after that, I asked her if she wanted to give helicopters a try, and so she agreed, and I went and bought one of these up in Canada, but they're made down in Florida. So after I got this from Canada, I trailered it down through customs down to South Carolina, and I called up the fellows from Composite FX, and they sent a fellow named Mike Messick up, and he helped me help go through the whole helicopter to make sure that it's safe to fly. And I made some mechanical changes to it. I shouldn't say I didn't modify it. I just fixed it. There were some things that had needed to be replaced from sitting around for so long. And after we got it, Alina started to fly the helicopter. She started to take lessons at Tomlinson Aviation in Ormond Beach, Florida, where she flew the Schweitzer 300 CBI and worked on her hovers and all the groundwork that she does down there. So after about 12 hours of flying in the Schweitzer over several months, we transitioned her to the Mosquito here, and now she's got about 10 hours in the Mosquito, and she's flying like a little champ near the ground.
I know it's a whole different animal, helicopter. Were you nervous when Alina fly the helicopter?
Absolutely, I was nervous. There is always a moment when you go from the training phase to the doing phase, and there's that one moment where she's all by herself and she has to fly the helicopter, and you're just hoping that you've done everything right up until that point to make sure that she's safe. And after our first lesson in the helicopter, she didn't even try to get off the ground. I just taught her how to turn it on and run it up and do the normal checks. But the second time when she got in there, she tried to pick it up by pulling up on the collective, and she was nervous. So so she took a break for a while. But later that afternoon, we tried again, and she got up in the air and she wobbled around, but did a pretty good job. Now she's probably has 20 flights under her belt of flying this, and now she flies it as if it's part of her own body.
I filmed Alina's first flight in Oshkosh at 2023 when Alina was 14-year-old, and now she's turned to 16-year-old. I think she can't done that without her dad support. So Alina's dad, how did you support Alina's aviation journey?
She's been flying with me as a passenger or co-pilot since basically when she was born. But when she turned 12, we started to fly the powered paraglider, but it didn't work out that year for her. But when she was 13, she was able to solo in the powered paraglider. And then when she turned 14, she decided that she wanted to do what her older brother did, her older brother Henry, and try to fly to AirVenture that year. And it turned out to be successful. What I do, all I do is train her how to fly and make sure the airplane stays together and doesn't fall apart. And when it comes to the journey, I have to feed her and make sure she gets up on time and so on. But I'm half of the picture here. My wife, Angela, is the other half of the picture here. And without her support, none of this would happen. If she put the veto on this, we would not be flying. We would not be here at AirVenture today. So here you go, Angela.
I was supportive of all of my kids' dreams from the beginning. And of course, Henry, middle son, was interested to fly. And Alina, I think Henry was an inspiration to Alina. And when she wanted to do it, I was not against it. I think if the kids are interested in something, I give a full support, full throttle for anything they want to do.